Well, our candidates, these are our corrections for the previous activity we had. I would like to explain part C of number 1. When you look at part C of number 1, n does not have a degree. That means this degree is for only 40. Now, that means as you carry out your working, make sure that n remains without a degree up to the time you get your answer. And only the numbers that must have the degrees, such that you have 130 degrees minus n. Now this n shall not have a degree because the degree is not contained by the unknown. Unlike in B, when the degree is outside, is for both. 3p takes that degree, 50 also takes that degree. That explains the difference between the answer of 1b and 1c. I know some of you must have put here a degree, but you have to correct that in case you made a mistake. And then in question number 4, we see in this is comprehension, testing whether we understood how to find a complement. Start always by getting a complement of the given arrow. And when we say 3/4 of the complement, it means in front of the preposition of, you put in the complement you have just found above. Then multiply to get the product at 30 degrees. And lastly, you add that 30 degrees and 35 degrees to give you 65 degrees. Thank you. That was a correction for our previous activity. Now, boys and girls, for today's lesson, I would like us to for today's lesson, I would like to basically begin by making you to remember the following. Now here, I would like us to remember about some principle of integers from integers on how to simplify this such that it can help us when we are handling our lesson. 1, when you look at 20, it has a negative, 10 has a negative. When two numbers have the same sign in addition of integers, you write the same sign and you add the numbers. So 20, when you add 10 to 20, you get 30. That 30 finds our negative already written, and we shall therefore say negative 20 minus 10 gives you negative 30. Also, when you look at Roman 2 here, 20 has a positive, 10 also has a positive, meaning the sign is similar still. You write the same sign, add the numbers, so 20 plus 10 gives you 30. And that 30 will find the positive sign already written, making therefore positive 20 plus 10 gives you positive 30. Now, so when numbers have similar signs in addition of integers, write the same sign and add the numbers. That's the principle. Principle 2, we have negative 15, positive 5. We write the sign which is on a bigger number. And in this case, 15 is a bigger number, the sign it has is a negative. So we write a negative, and in this case, when signs are different on the two numbers, after writing the sign on the bigger number, subtract the numbers that are remaining to give you the number in front of the sign. 15 minus 5 will give you 10. That means Negative 15 plus 5 gives you negative 10. When you come here, positive 25 and then negative 50. Which sign is on the bigger number in this case? Still you can see 50 is bigger than 25 and the sign which is on the bigger number is a negative. So we shall write a negative and then get a bigger number minus a small one, and that gives you 50 minus 25, it gives you 25. So when you're simplifying your integers, these addition principles should be put into use. Well, that therefore brings us to our lesson of today. Our lesson of today. Boys and girls, for today, we are going to look at forming and solving equations on complementary angles. We can all read our heading, forming and solving equations on complementary angles. Last time, I remember we looked at how to find complements of angles. My first question that I will not forget to remind you or to ask you, what are complementary angles? Yes? Complementary angles are angles that whose sum is 90 degrees. Good. Thank you for your response there. Now, I just have one example for this lesson of ours. Then we shall have an activity there. And this is our example. Sorry. Two complementary angles. Two complementary angles are x plus 20 degrees and x minus 40 degrees. What is the size of the largest angle? Well, children, boys and girls, this is our example. It says two complementary angles are x plus 20 degrees and x minus 40 degrees. What is the size of the largest angle? Now, in this question, we need to understand what this question requires. One, the two complementary angles are in the question. The first one is this one I'm underlining. The second one is that one I'm underlining. Now, since the two angles which are complementary are in the question, but having unknowns, then the first thing we begin with is to find the value of the unknown. However, when we're finding the value of the unknown, we have to follow the rule or the principle of adding complementary angles, which states that when you add these two complementary angles in this question, the sum will be 90 degrees. So we shall, based on that principle, we shall formulate an equation. We shall form our equation as shall say x plus 20 degrees plus x minus 40 degrees is equals to 90 degrees. So our first complementary angle plus the second complementary angle gives you 90 degrees. And then always after forming equation, it is important to collect like terms. And here, when you collect like terms, mind about that a term moves together with the sign it has. So positive, this is 20 degrees has a positive, x has a positive, 40 degrees has a negative. So when we are collecting like terms, every term must be moved together with this sign. Therefore, our next step will be x plus x plus 20 degrees minus 40 degrees is equals to 90 degrees. So in these collected like terms, you can see x has moved together with its positive sign in this position. 20 degrees has also moved with its positive sign to this position, and the negative 40 degrees has remained in that position with its sign. So when collecting like terms, that must be obeyed. And then from here, x plus we shall get 2x, correct? Now, this is the part where we have to look at the first introduction to this lesson. We have to consider that aspect. We have positive 20 degrees, and then we also have negative 40 degrees. Now, when simplifying this part, we have to be very, very extra careful here. We look at this number 20 degrees, it has a positive. This number 40 degrees, it has a negative. Now, we write the sign. Since the signs are different, we write the sign on a bigger number. And the sign on the bigger number, in this case, class is a negative. Good. So we write a negative. And then to get the number of degrees we are writing in front of our negative, you get the large number minus the small one. So in this case, you have 40 degrees. Take away 20 degrees, will give you 20 degrees. Is equals to 910 degrees. So when simplifying integers, that principle must be followed. Now, when we reach here, the next thing we do is to collect in like terms. And in this case, we have to identify the additive inverse of negative 20 degrees. Can somebody tell me the additive inverse of negative 20 degrees? Well, good. It is positive 20 degrees. So we say 2x minus 20 degrees plus 20 degrees is equals to 90 degrees plus 20 degrees. Negative 20 degrees plus 20 degrees will give you 0, and that means we have 2x is equals to 110 degrees. When we reach this step, we look at our coefficient is 2, we use it to divide. In the next step, 2x divided by 2 is equals to 110 degrees divided by 2. By 2, 1 by 2, and in this case, this is 5. So x is equals to 55 degrees. Now, when we reach here, class, we have just known the value of the animal x. However, for us to determine the size, of the angle which is the largest. We need to substitute into each angle in a question. So we shall have x plus 20 degrees, where x will be replaced by 5 plus 20 degrees, and this will give you 75 degrees. So this is one of the angles. This is one of the sides of the angles. The second one is x minus 40 degrees. In this case also, we shall need to substitute x using the value which is 55. 55 minus 40, which gives you 15 degrees. Now here we have two angles. We have 75 degrees. We also have 15 degrees. One of our angles is 75 degrees. The other angle is 15 degrees. And indeed, if you added 75 degrees and 15 degrees, it gives you the sum of complementary angles, which is 90 degrees. Now, according to the question, they are saying which one is the largest angle. So looking at 75 degrees that you obtain as the value of one of the angles and 15 degrees as the value of the other angle, we can therefore conclude by saying the largest angle is the largest angle is 75 degrees. That answers this question of ours. Sometimes they can also ask, what is the smallest angle? In that case, which value would you go for? 15 degrees would be the value for that angle. At times in this question, we can also ask you to find the size of each angle. When we put here the word each, it means we want you to get for us this angle, 75 degrees, and then also get us this angle, 15 degrees, and you end there. You will have got the size of each. Thank you for listening. Now, dear candidates, as you know, it's not good for me to give you a lesson and then you go for break without doing an activity. So for now, we shall have our activity. Number one, we say find the value of n. Find the value of n. So in that diagram, we are finding the value of n. Number two, if 2n degrees and 30 degrees are complementary angles, find the value of n. Question 3. two complementary angles are into brackets 2y minus 10 degrees and into brackets 3y minus 30 degrees. What is the size of each angle? And lastly, if into brackets 2x minus 40 degrees and into brackets x plus 40 degrees are complementary angles, find the size of the smallest angle. Boys and girls, we'd like to end there for today. We meet next time. We shall have our last lesson on complementary angles in the next lesson. Thank you very much. Stay well at home.